Hi guys, welcome back to Delaware Acre. I have all my pumpkins here. I am ready to be done with pumpkins. It is the weekend after Thanksgiving. I didn't get any recording done this week. My husband and I were both working. The shift work life was real this week. So kids were off from school and we were both working, so that was fun. So now that Thanksgiving is done, everything's kind of slowing down this weekend. We're ready to start putting Christmas decorations up. I'm so excited. Christmas is my favorite time of year. So I am ready to get fall stuff out of the house and take everything down. I am going to try something new to me this year. I've never had this many pumpkins to preserve, but I don't have anywhere to put them in my house that is like a root cellar to keep them pumpkin-y. It would store well for the winter. I do have space for jars though, so I looked in my little book here, little ball home preservation book, and you can can pumpkin. So I'm going to try to can some. I already cut up 2 of these. These are Long Island cheese pumpkin, big as my head. So I actually cooked two or three, I think 3 of these up already. I already cooked them. I just halved them, scooped out the seeds and put them in that big 18-quart roaster that I have. Just pureed the flesh and have frozen that, cooked some with it for Thanksgiving. I'm going to try to can these. So maybe that would be interesting to show you guys. Hopefully it works well. I have to use the pressure canner. So I am going to go ahead and get started. So you can't can pumpkin as a puree. It has to be in cubes. I'm going to go ahead and start chopping. I really don't know what I'm doing here. So since this thing is so odd shaped, I'm just going to cut this part. Oh gosh. Woo! That's how it looks like. So this is actually a crooked neck pumpkin. It is not crooked because it was the one that was hanging from my trellis. So usually they look like this. This is where the seeds are. This is all just flesh in here. So I have never peeled it. So, oh, look at that. I guess it's just similar to a butternut. This probably could have been a little more riper, but got my trusty red bowl here. I use this for compost. Cut this one in half and scoop out the seeds. So the recipe says you can do this with any squash, any winter squash, pumpkin, butternut, any kind of winter squash that has a hard rind on it like this. You just can't puree it and try to can it. It is not considered safe. I guess the heat can't penetrate through the density of the pumpkin. So, but if you put it in cubes, then I guess it can penetrate. Okay guys, so this is that one crooked neck pumpkin, and this is 16 cups of pumpkin, and that was only one of these pumpkins. This is going to be a lot of jars. So I could put this here. All right, cover it with water. Oh boy. Okay. Then it says to bring this to a boil. Bring it to a boil. Boil it for 2 minutes, and I'll put it in jars. So this is probably going to take a little while to get up to boiling because I put cold water in there too. So I'm just going to keep chopping. Got a big old giant bowl too. I'm always looking for an excuse to use this bowl. I love this bowl. It is so big. It's so big, and I love it. Okay guys, on the last one, it took me literally 45 minutes to cut up all these long neck, crooked neck pumpkins. I don't have the best knife skills, so it takes me a little while. Scraps, scraps. This bowl is full. The first 16 cups are, I put them in here just because I wasn't ready. I was still chopping. So I'm gonna get jars out and get to filling. Okay. Go ahead and fill this up again. A little too much. Get some water boiling to hot pack into these. So this one, they kind of settled down a little bit in there, so it needs a little bit more. So pumpkin, I don't think you're supposed to pack too tightly. And we're going to do 1 inch headspace. So this here is 1 inch where this big ring is. So I'll get the kettle going and I'll put some boiling water in there while we're waiting. A little ambiance. And my water has boiled. Spatula. See the air bubbles coming out there? All those air bubbles trapped in there. You want to get all those out. Uh-oh, there's a seed in there. I don't know if I can get that out. See if you can see the bubbles. See all those bubbles trapped in there? Now I'll have to add some more water to adjust for headspace. Okay, so I got my little jar. I'll put some vinegar in it. Just white. Oops, got it all over the floor. White vinegar, clean cloth, and we're just going to go right around the tops. Waiting for this to boil. We'll fill these up and then we'll put them in the canner. Wait for this to boil again. Jars that are full, put them in to the canner. last jar in. I can fit 7 quart jars in my canner. A splash of vinegar in there. The lid. There is water in there around the cans. My canner uses 3 quarts, so I already put that in before I put my jars in. I'm going to close the lid. I'm going to take my weight off. Now that this is sealed shut. And once steady steam is coming out of this, for 10 minutes to let it vent, and then the weight goes on top. Third batch. Okay. Final time filling up this 16 quart. It's about 8 cups. Okay, so we are steaming. It's not quite a steady stream coming out just yet. I don't know if you can see that. See that, how it's kind of touch and go? When this is really steady, that's when we'll put the weight. Okay, so now this is, ow, that's hot. So now this is a steady steam. So now we set the timer for 10 minutes from now. Then we'll put the weight on. Okay, so I was wiping off this jar and I felt a little roughness. I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it. There is, where'd it go? Right here. I don't know if you can see that. See that little imperfection? Where is it? Right there. See how it's, my finger drags across it and you can feel it. See how my fingernail's on it? This will cause a leak in your seal. This is what you're feeling for when you're taking your vinegar around. So this jar is now out of commission. This is not safe for canning. So I'm going to dump this contents out into this jar. This is my good jar. That one's not a good jar. This one's not a good jar. This has to go into here. So this jar is no good. Okay, it's been 10 minutes. That goes on. This pops. And now once this gets to 11 pounds, start the timer for 90 minutes. Okay, we are about 12 PSI, but I'm going to, I set the timer when it was at 11. And I'm actually just going to turn the heat down, and you just kind of have to find a sweet spot. So 90 minutes, here we go. Okay, so there's a lot of things happening here. This is, you have to really babysit this. I don't have enough to make a full canner. I have a half a jar here. So what I will do is I'll dump this into a different jar, and this one's good. So I'm actually going to fill this because I can fit, what's this, 5, 6. I'm going to make these 2 are going to be just water I'm going to can. And then I'll have some sterilized water in the, as a result of my canner. And then the canner would be full. So, yeah. That goes into the fridge. These older canning jars for water. So 2, 4, 6, 7 for the next round of the canner. This is Still at 11, a little bit over. And we have a long time. So I'll keep you posted. Stand by. Finally. Turn this off. And then just let this come down to pressure on its own. And it's 8. And I still have another one to do. Oh boy. Okay, guys. Let's see. This is going to be rather hot. I don't have much room between here and here to take this off, so I have to kind of be quick about it. Smells very pumpkin-y. They look pretty cool. There's quite a bit of siphoning there, so I'm going to try to figure out what I did here. I don't think I'll have the energy to do this tonight, so I'll have to look and see if I can put, I don't know if I could put these in the fridge. They're still really warm. Okay guys, good morning. It's the next morning and taking the rings off of the pumpkin that we did last night, and they're, oh, this one's really loose. But they're kind of sticking. I'm trying to get one-handed. I can't get that one off one-handed. So I will get the rest of these lids, or these bands off. I need 2 hands. Oh, no, that one's, I can do that one. I just can't get this one by one hand. It's really sticky. So what I'll do is I'll get that band off, and then I'm going to wipe these. I'm actually going to wash these jars because they have, like, from the siphoning, they have some pumpkin residue. Just some stuff on the outside. And you don't want to put sticky jars in storage because that will just attract you-know-what buggies. But I did some reading again last night just to make sure. I just wanted to make sure that I did this right. But siphoning, as long as there's still at least half of the amount of liquid that we put in there, so it's just below the shoulders and it was up to here, as long as there's at least half of that in there, it's still safe to keep in storage. It's not ideal. This fruit up here may discolor, but as long as there's at least half the amount of liquid that we put in there, it's still safe. And it happens because the temperature fluctuates on this gauge so much. I need to find that sweet spot in on my stove when I'm canning to keep this gauge right at 11 pounds per pressure, and sometimes it would fluctuate up to 15, and then it would drop the flame down and it would go right back to 11, and then I'd be scared that it would keep decreasing, so I'd increase it and it would go back up. So I think the fluctuation in the temperature or the pressure in the pressure canner while these were in there is what caused the siphoning. So I just didn't have the energy to do it last night, and you literally have to sit here and babysit the canner. So I'm actually going to pull these jars out and put them over here to get back up to room temperature. You should be able to pick up your jars by the lid, and that's how you know you definitely are sealed. All of them have pinged, and the little button has depressed, and they're all sealed. You're good to go. Now this one only has about half, so we need to use this one. I had to put this one in the fridge. Actually, it looks like this one also only has about half. So I guess I'm making some pumpkin stuff today. Okay, so I'll let these sit here and dry off and figure out the plan for the day. Okay, much later. I'm at 11 pounds of pressure. Okay guys, this is working out. I'm almost scared to say it, but this is working out so much better. This is the burner I did last night. This is the burner tonight. And I have it just set to low, and I've barely had to really finesse it too much. There's a lot less water coming out here. It's not like all over the place. That must have been one of the issues yesterday. Maybe that's why it was water from the siphoning. I'm not really sure. But I also took the lid off when I washed the pot, washed the inside. I actually took the lid off and made sure that the gauge was tight. And I also made sure that this was, you could see through, and I could see through it, like just some maintenance stuff. And there's also a gasket underneath the lid here. I'll show you. I'll try to put a little clip in. But there's a gasket there, and I took it off and I washed it, and I washed inside of that rim, and then I sprayed it with canola oil, or Pam said to use vegetable oil, and I put it back in. So I'm not sure if maybe my canner needed some maintenance or what, but this is going so much better than last night. I can actually walk away from this to, you know, tend to my children and then come back instead of having to babysit. So I wish I could say I knew exactly what I did wrong yesterday, but I'm not sure if what I did fixed it. But I mean, it's creeping up a little bit there. More to go on the timer. I think about an hour, I think. So here we are. Hey guys, it's time. Okay guys, it's after 11. I just took the lid off, and it even smells different. Oh, something's pinging. Oh, this is just our water. Just water. Oh wow, look at the difference. Look at that difference. Oh, a little bit of siphoning there on that one. I would be concerned that this one is going to have a good seal. So we'll see. We'll see about that one in the morning. A little bit of siphoning there. So it's just water. Okay, so I still have the jars out from yesterday. So here are the jars from today. The canning process went much easier, much better on this left burner, and after I did some maintenance on the lid and the canner itself. So these are the jars. A little bit of siphoning here, but much better than the jars from over here. So from what I understand, if you can't regulate your temperature on your gauge, if you can't regulate it by your flame well, then too much variation in the temperature will cause siphoning. And today went much easier. Looks much better. So bubbly. Okay, so these have cooled down completely the next day, and you pick them up by the lid. They're good. This one I was a little concerned about. I took the lid off and it had a little spot there, but you can hold it by the lid and it's not popping off easily. So I'm going to go with it. It doesn't look like there's anything that got underneath there. There's just a spot on top, so you can kind of see under there. I don't see any issues with the seal. So yeah, get the rings off these and wash these down, label them, and put them in the storage. That canning project took way longer than I anticipated, way longer. Learned a few things. Need to do some maintenance on your canner before you start. And also, if it's not going well, you should probably just stop and start again the next day. But I want to show you everything we came up with here, everything that we made. So we got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 canned quarts of pumpkin, the long neck pumpkin. I did can 2 quarts of water. I don't know if this is an FDA approved canning recipe, but if my canner is not full, then I but I use older canning jars, these older kind. This one is an old Atlas. I will put water in there and can water since I'm already canning this for 90 minutes. So it will sterilize the water here is my theory, my thought process. So tell me in the comments if you think something else. I posted something on one of the Facebook canning groups that I belong to ask them what they think. But you can see the significant difference between the siphoning in the first round and the second round. So these were, I considered these safe to keep shelf stable, and then these guys had lost more than half. These have been in the fridge. This was our extra pumpkin, which it wasn't enough to put in a can, so in a jar. So, all right, guys, that's my my pumpkin canning process. I am not going to can any more pumpkin. I have 4 of these left, and I am just going to slice them and go ahead and put them in the roaster. But I have broth in the roaster now, turkey carcass. I'm just going to roast them and freeze them. It is so much easier than doing this for 90 minutes on my stove. So I don't know. I got to fine tune that process. But 90 minutes is a long time to be babysitting a pressure canner. I'm done. I'm done with it. I'm done with canning pumpkin. I don't think I'll ever do it again. I'm glad you came along. Hopefully you learned something with me. And we will not be doing this again unless, maybe if I do pints. Maybe. I will say, I don't think I'll can quarts again. A lot of pumpkin baking to do because these 3 jars are in the fridge. I make muffins for them each week. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. And thanks for watching. And until next time, bye.